Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be another episode of Weekly Watches. How many have we got this week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 this week. And I'll be honest, I've watched some weird shit this week. Yeah, all over the place. Definitely some, like I said, weird shit. Some good stuff though as well, not all bad. One film which is very rare for me, that I just was finding so bleak that I had to turn it off before it finished because I just couldn't finish it. Just couldn't put myself down to finish it. And yeah, like I said, some really weird shit. Uh, Probably nothing weirder than my first watch of the week, which is Tiptoes, which I did mention on the stream on Monday. It might come up again tomorrow. Yeah, this is just the weirdest, craziest film I think I've ever seen. It's just whoever wrote this film just deserves an award themselves just for how outlandish and the fact that they got away and made this film and it's a real film. Um, this is the Danish release, I believe. But if you're not too familiar with what it's about, it basically follows Matthew McConaughey's character, who's in a relationship with Kate Beckinsale's character. She finds out that she's pregnant, and he's got to break the news to her that he comes from a family of little people, small people of small. I'm sorry if I don't know the correct term. It's constantly changing. I never know what the correct term is. Um, Dwarves. I honestly don't know. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, and you've got Gary Oldman who plays his brother, who's literally acting on his knees for the entire film. It's just ludicrous. Peter Dinklage's character, whose accent is all over the place. I couldn't pin down what accent he was trying to do in this film. Who just out of the blue picks up Patricia Arquette's character, who kind of just goes with the flow and follows him around everywhere. She doesn't really do much in the film. She's just like his shadow. Very odd. Um, and yes, about them coming to terms with the possibility of their child having problems. And Matthew McConaughey just being depressed throughout most of this film. Um, Obviously, it's supposed to be a comedy, because of just of how I've explained it to you, it is funny because it's just ridiculous. Some of the things in this film is just like you're not quite sure whether they were made for laughs or it's meant to be serious. I really don't know what they were going for with this film, but it's a film that needs to be seen to be believed, and I believe that everyone should just give it a go and watch it. It's not a absolutely. I would watch this again just because of how much of a fun time I had with it, because it was just so odd and out there. And considering Gary Oldman is on his knees throughout the film, he still gives a pretty good performance. I mean, it's Gary Oldman. Although, if you watch the trailer, they describe him as being in the role of a lifetime, and I definitely would not go that far. He has done much better performances, in my opinion, but he is still the highlight of the film for me, I would say. Um, just absolutely, I think it destroyed this director's career. I don't think he did anything else after this. Um, yeah, I just think it just completely got fired before the film was released because wasn't allowed to get final cut. His final cut was something like 3 hours long. Now the actual cut of the film is about an hour and a half, just under an hour and a half, which is as long as it needs to be. I do wonder what the film would have turned out like if we had got that 3 hour cut, because both the actors involved and the director have come out and said that it's a much better film if you watch it like that. But it's one of those things we'll never know. But yeah, I definitely recommend people just to check this out, just out of curiosity's sake, because it is just one of those odd films. Yeah, so that is Tiptoes. Next up, I watched The A Team. This is the 2010 film reimagining of the 80s TV series. about a group of ex-soldiers, military guys, that team together to do these sort of like outlandish sort of rescue missions. And yeah, having never seen the original TV series, I have nothing to compare it against. This is one that I do vaguely remember watching many years ago, probably around the time it came out. Bear in mind, I would have been probably about 8 when this came out, so couldn't remember much at all about it. But I mean, the real reason I was really interested in watching this is because I'm a huge Liam Neeson fan. I will watch anything that Liam Neeson is in. So of course I gave this a watch, and it is what it is. It's a fun action comedy. If you're going into it looking at comparing it to the 80s series, I can kind of see why. Although, like I said, having never seen the series, I can't really compare. I understand why you might not love it, and it's not one that I love, but it was a fun watch. It was a fun watch. I would definitely watch it again. Turn your brain off. Easy to watch action comedy. You've got Bradley Cooper, Sholto Copley, Jessica Biel, Quinton Rampage Jackson, who is obviously playing BA, obviously Mr. T made famous in the original series. Patrick Wilson, you got a score by Alan Silvestri, pretty decent score in this. Yeah, fun enough Sunday afternoon watch for me. That was the A-Team. And then I finished off my last Sunday with another really fun watch that had been years since I'd watched. So again, much like the A-Team, I couldn't really remember anything about it. Definitely time for a rewatch. And again, thoroughly enjoyed it. Very funny film. It is Dodgeball, a true underdog story with Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller. Basically about this dodgeball competition. It's about this gym that's basically got to come up with this money. Otherwise, it's going to be built out by this biggest gym, like sort of conglomerate run by Ben Stiller's character, who is an absolute prized fool, idiot, whatever words you want to kind of put against. But this dodgeball team is probably the worst dodgeball team ever. They just absolutely suck at the game. So they basically get trained by a coach, Patches O'Houlihan, played by Rip Torn, who was big back in the days when dodgeball first began, and he did like this big, is it PDA, whatever they call it, that they showed to like schools, back in like the 50s or 60s, and he was kind of a big star back then. And he's basically come now, he's in a wheelchair, and he's basically teaching them how to be good dodgeball players. And yeah, so just a funny, easy hour and a half watch. Love these sorts of films. You just don't get comedies like this anymore. Everyone says this, I say it again. They really do not make good comedies very often, if at all, anymore, because they're just afraid to push boundaries, which I think they should. Comedy's supposed to be funny, but I think nowadays people are too easily offended at things that are just supposed to be played out for laughs. They are not. Comedy is not supposed to be taken seriously at all. And if you do, if it's not your thing, the thing that's being satirized or whatever, I just say just don't watch it if it bothers you. If it, to me, so what one person finds funny, another might not. But that doesn't mean that a film shouldn't be made because of that. But I'm not going to go into it too much. I think there's a lot of people that have similar opinions to me on that one. Because comedy, in all honesty, for the most part, sucks nowadays because it's just not funny. It's just stupid stuff that's not funny. But yeah, Dodgeball, absolutely love that one. Then my pick for the watch pile for the week, which, as I said, I've already spoken about in my last watch pile video. So if you would like to know my full thoughts on this one, go back and watch that video and I'll go into it a bit more. But it was The Brothers McMullen, which was Edward Burns' first film. Really enjoyed this. Good little like sort of indie family drama about three brothers, kind of very different, trying to like go about their lives. They have very different things going on in their lives, sort of all kind of linked with women involved in their lives as well, and relationships, that sort of thing. But it was a very easy watch. Again, only an hour and a half, but one that again I really did enjoy. And I did say in my watch pile video, they are doing a sequel to this, which I believe is going to be called The Family McMullen, which is already wrapped filming. So 20 years later, finally getting a sequel to this. No, not 20, 30 years later, sorry. Finally getting a sequel to this. Be interesting to see if it's one that is theatrical or it's dumped on streaming, because I can kind of see it going to streaming just because I don't know how much of an audience would go and watch this at the cinemas nowadays. I personally would, because these are the sorts of films I enjoy going to see at the cinema, but I could be in the minority there. But yeah, that's The Brothers McMullen. Then, first of two Patrick Swayze films I watched this week, and the first one was Roadhouse, which was very kindly sent over to me by my friend James over at Movie Mad, who I'm sure you're all very familiar with already. If not, go over to James's channel, give him a sub, go and check him out. Great guy. He's been going for years. I've been watching him long before I started my YouTube videos. So yeah, highly recommend to go and check out his channel if you haven't done so already. But yeah, another just a great 80s classic here, Roadhouse. Who doesn't like Roadhouse? I mean, you got Dalton, played by Patrick Swayze, who's kind of this sort of he's a bit more than a bouncer, I would say. It's like sort of like he just like kind of enforces these like roadhouses, keeps everything in order, does it his way, and he's called into this really violent, out of hand roadhouse down in Missouri. That's kind of been taken over by this local drug kingpin that kind of rules the roost in the neighborhood, and he's trying to kind of keep order under all of this. And yeah, it's just an awesome 80s action, just a film of the 80s. It is definitely a film of its time, but that's not a bad thing. It's very good, very cheesy, very easy to watch. I'm a huge fan of Patrick Swayze. I do really want to check out more of his 80s stuff. I know Still Dawn's supposed to be really good. I think is it Youngblood, the one he did with Rob Lowe? That one I want to check out. There's quite a few that I need to check out. What was the one he did? It's Black Dog with Meatloaf. That's a 90s one that I wouldn't mind watching. But yeah, Roadhouse, just an absolute classic there. Next up's the one that I actually turned off before the end, and it was only an hour and a half as well. I just couldn't put myself through the rest of the film. And it's Broken, which I picked up last week. I'll start off with the good things about this film, and I'll say the good things that I took from watching as much of the film as I did was the performances given in this film were really good, specifically from Tim Roth and Cillian Murphy, but you kind of expect that with two actors like them in a film. They generally always give really good performances. It's just the subject matter in this film, it was just so bleak, like really bleak. So it starts off, it's about this young girl who lives in a fairly nice neighborhood, not a bad neighborhood at all really, but she witnesses the violent attack of her neighbor, who's got a bit of a screw loose, I would say. He's not all there, by another neighbor, because he's basically been accused of raping one of his young daughters, which he didn't do. The daughters just come up as a lie. That's not a spoiler. And it kind of really shakes this young man up, because he's beaten up by another man in broad daylight. And yeah, it's just not a very there's not much pleasant going on. It's about kids getting beaten up, beating each other up, and people accusing other people of this and that, and lots of shouting, and just lots of misery going around for all the characters. Nothing's good is happening to any of these characters throughout this film. It's all just doom and gloom, and I couldn't be doing with it. I can't be doing with films like this. Like I said, I can appreciate the performances and the work that probably went into making this film. But why make a film that's not enjoyable? If it was a true story, I could kind of understand it, but it's not. So to me, I don't understand why films like this need to be made, because you don't go and watch a film like this for enjoyment. You can't say it's interesting, because like I said, it's not based on a true story. It's just, yeah, to me, just wasn't very pleasant to watch. So for that reason, I didn't get through all of it. I won't be going back to this one, unfortunately. And as you can guess, it's not going to be staying in the collection, because I just won't I haven't ever got the desire to go back and finish this one. So yeah, that is Broken. Next up, a bit better. I watched this after I needed to like sort of palate cleanser after that, because that kind of wasn't a great film to watch on an evening. So I chucked on Gloria Bell, which stars Julianne Moore. I love Julianne Moore, and it's just a really good film. Another like sort of indie drama. You got John Turturro in this as well. Michael Cera's in this one. Brad Garrett, Jean Triplehorn. Who else? I'm trying to remember. Rita Wilson, Sean Astin, Holland Taylor. And yeah, it's basically about this middle-aged woman, very free-spirited. She's a divorcee. She goes out clubbing most nights. Works a pretty normal office job. And one day when she's out clubbing, she meets this man, Arnold, played by John Turturro. And they kind of find themselves in this new romance. They've both not that long been out of a marriage. So they're kind of working out how to sort of love and date again, I suppose. And that kind of is the basis for the film. And yeah, if you like those sorts of films, it's definitely sort of a romantic comedy. There are some quite funny parts in it. But yeah, I say watch this film for Julianne Moore. If you're a Julianne Moore fan, can't go wrong. Got a great soundtrack in here as well. Some great like 80s songs in here. Obviously, it's got the song you would probably think from the 80s. Gloria's in this film, obviously. Plays at the end. Yeah, it was a really nice, easy watch, this one. So one that I will 100% be going back to again. Really enjoyed it. That is Gloria Bell. Next up, you will not have seen this one yet. And I might have actually, to be honest with you, did I miss this off? I might have missed this off the video that I did yesterday, because I'd already watched it, of all of the things that I picked up in the charity shop last week. So you'll see this before anyway. But it's Stigmata, Patricia Arquette, Gabriel Byrne, Jonathan Pryce. The Messenger Must Be Silenced. So it's kind of like the same sort of film that was made around this time. The devil and cults and stuff to do with the church that was done quite a lot around this time. In fact, the same year Gabriel Byrne did another film, similar sort of theme, in End of Days, where he played the devil. Very similar sort of themes to this. It's basically about a true thing called stigmata, which is where basically they believe that Christ gives power. I mean, actually, there's a little booklet in here that explains it a bit better, so I might get a bit of a better inexplicable, apologies for the dog barking, inexplicable bleeding from fresh wounds that appear without warning would terrify most people, but to those suffering from the stigmata, bleeding lacerations that mirror the wounds of Christ's crucifixion, it is an honour, a blessing put upon only the most deserving and most devout. So apparently it's a real thing. I don't know, that could just be them trying to promote the film, who knows. But it's about a young woman played by Patricia Arquette, who's basically given this like rosary by her mother, who's got it when she's been abroad in another country, and it kind of makes her suffer from this stigmata bleeding, and she's seeing things, and it's all about this priest played like he's like an investigator from the Vatican, played by Gabriel Byrne, who's trying to save her. And then you've got this cardinal played by Jonathan Pryce, who thinks there's more to it, wants to try and take her, do some sort of like things to her to like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not a great film, not at all. It was okay. Again, it was only an hour and a half to pass the time. Not a horrible film at all, but just it is what it is. So yeah, that is Stigmata. Then I watched another weird one, Southland Tales, which is a Richard Kelly film. This was his sort of follow-up to Donnie Darko, but it's not connected to Donnie Darko. Similar sort of thing. It's just very weird. It's one of those, it's got so many characters in, and it's very hard to follow the story. I am going to struggle to explain what goes on in this film, because there's a lot going on in this film, and I left feeling after watching this film, like what the fuck did I just watch? Because it's just one of those films it ends and you're like, right, okay then. It's very much so a thinker of a film. Basically, it starts out in 2005 in Texas, and these quite a few nuclear bombs go off, and this kind of triggers the events of World War III. Fast forward to 2008, which is the election year. You've got two political parties. You've got this new sort of group called neo-Marxists, who obviously take after Karl Marx, and they're kind of trying to stop the people from power doing what they're doing. The Rock plays like this actor that's got amnesia, and he doesn't know what's happened to him, so he's trying to kind of piece puzzle together as to what happened to him. You've got Sarah Michelle Gellar, who plays like an adult film star, who kind of is trying to help him. Sean William Scott, he plays like two characters, twin brothers. Don't really know what was going on with his characters. Couldn't really tell you. And you've got Mandy Moore, Justin Timberlake, John Larroquette, Christopher Lambert, John Lovitz, Amy Poehler, Miranda Richardson, Wallace Shawn, Kevin Smith, Zelda that was in Poltergeist. Is it Rubenstein? I think her name was. The woman from Poltergeist, she's in this. Very weird, very random, not as good as Donnie Darko in my opinion. Very ambitious. Is it worth the watch if you ask me? Yes. Is it worth more than one watches? 100%. I think this is one that is going to grow on me on a rewatch. I think I'm going to pick up more as I rewatch it. Did I not like this film? Not at all. I enjoyed this film. It's one of those that it's a bit of a head scratcher as to what's really going on. But as I said, I think if you watch it a few more times, you might kind of get what's going on a little bit more. But yeah, that was Southland Tales. And finally, but by no means least, is the other Patrick Swayze film I watched this week, rounding the week off very nicely with Red Dawn, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Of the two Patrick Swayze films, I think I slightly preferred this over Roadhouse, but really enjoyed both. I've seen the remake of this one. I've actually got the remake, but it's one that I need to rewatch. And this one, great film, great 80s cast. Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Grey, Leah Thompson, Ben Johnson, Harry Dean Stanton, Powers Booth. Really great cast. About a group of high schoolers, I think they are. Basically, Russians just parachute down into their town, take over their town, kind of start sort of like a World War III. And they take it upon themselves to fight back and try and save their town and their country, of course. And yeah, really good film. Patrick Swayze's awesome in this. Probably the standout of this was Patrick Swayze for me personally. Just an awesome film of the 80s. And as Jim will tell you, the first PG-13 rated film, and at the time had the world record for the most kills in a film, and a lot of people are killed off in this film for sure. But yeah, really fun film. Yeah, that is Red Dawn, which I rounded the week off with. And that is it. I've got about 10 minutes. I'm off to go and see The Goonies for its 40th anniversary re-release. So looking forward to that, being the first time watching it on the big screen. One of my favourites from the 80s, so very happy to watch it on the big screen for the first time. But yeah, that's it. I'll try and get this uploaded so it goes up possibly when I get back from the cinema. So this evening, hopefully you'll see this one today. And don't forget, live stream tomorrow as usual will be at, well, it's changed now. We're going to try and go for 7 now going forward, because we do tend to go on for quite a long time. I don't want it to drag for anyone or go on for too long, because I know we're chatterboxes. And I can tell you, confirmed for this week is myself. We have Roy, we have Jim again, we have Andy, definitely also have Ellery. Gonna be great to get Ellery on a proper. I don't think he's been on a proper stream before, I don't think. Oh no, yeah, he has. He's been on one before, I think, or two, quite a while ago. So it'd be great to get Ellery on one again. And another, might have two more special guests. But obviously, if my other two guests do decide to drop in, someone's going to have to share the time, because as we found out before, we can only get 6 people on at a time, otherwise it just doesn't let any more in. So yeah, we shall see. But yeah, join us at 7 o'clock tomorrow for that. Should be a lot of fun. And I also have as I said, I've recorded my sort of pickup delivery video, which should go up at some point tomorrow. And yeah, so that is it for this video. So let me know if you've seen any of those that I've watched this week down below in the comments, and your thoughts on them. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel, comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment, because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time everyone, take care, goodbye.